technology that is built for your every sense. Acer Pure from Acer.
Well, let's get you the pictures that came in of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who took a bullet train ride with his Japanese counterpart, Prime Minister Ishiba of Japan. This is the second day of his visit to Japan, and the Prime Minister also met and interacted with the Indian train drivers currently training in East Japan Railway Company. Both the Prime Ministers then headed to Japan's Sendai city, where the Japanese Prime Minister shared pictures from the ride, as wrote that Prime Minister Modi to Sendai as continuing from last night, I will be with you in the car. As far as Prime Minister Narendra Modi is concerned, this is going to be the highlight that when we speak of Prime Minister's second day of his visit to Japan, especially when it comes to the state prefecture cooperation that the Prime Minister has also called as a vital pillar of India-Japan friendship. And this is a separate initiative that it was launched during the 15th annual India-Japan summit that happened yesterday. But as far as Prime Minister Narendra Modi is concerned, he's been also taking a review of the industries, the factories over there, taking the bullet train ride with the Japanese counterpart, and also meeting with the Indian train drivers currently training at East Japan Railway Company, as Prime Minister of Japan has been sharing those pictures where they have also observed the new Alpha X train and was briefed about the bullet train by the chairman of the East Japan Railway Company. Now, this is exactly when it comes to both Prime Ministers are concerned, because there are several Indian train drivers who are currently also training in Japan, with GR East lined up to greet Prime Minister Narendra Modi prior to his bullet train ride, as the Prime Minister met with the drivers and also posed for pictures with them. Let's get in a word from Rishabh now, connected with us. When we speak of state prefecture cooperation, this is something, Rishabh, that the Prime Minister has called it vital when it comes to the friendship between India and Japan. The bullet train ride, of course, with the pictures also being posted, and this very important visit to Sendai city.
Well, definitely. Sendai visit is very, very important. It's not symbolic anymore. India has been pushing for the whole semiconductor ecosystem in India, and India do realize that if there is no external support, it will take years for India to realize the dreams that they are looking forward to. It's a future-oriented setup. It's a future-oriented plan, and it needs a push from external market, and that's why Japan becomes an important partner when it comes to semiconductors. In Sendai, when the Prime Minister is visiting, it's not only just a tour to a semiconductor factory, it is also in a way India's push, outreach to Japan, that come, invest in India, support India. You have the technology, we have the labor, let's come together and create something. And that's what the semiconductor dream India is looking at. Definitely a symbolic bullet train drive from Tokyo to Sendai. Again, the bullet train project has been long pending. It was supposed to be finalized in the second term of Prime Minister itself. The third term is also moving toward the midterm for Prime Minister Modi. It's yet not on ground. So India wants. CB George, India's ambassador to Japan, say that by 2027 the bullet train project will be completed between Ahmedabad and Mumbai. So it is something that is moving in positive direction, and that's why the ambassador has used a date line for that project. So yes, definitely, when it comes to Japan and India, the stakes are clear. India, when it dealing with Japan, needs to understand that it has to balance out between the Quad expectation, US acquisitions, be it the shadow of
as well, where the challenges still lie ahead. But when it comes to the closeness that we're looking at, the countries which majorly form the global south, Srinjoy, India and Japan are also working closely when it comes to economic security. That includes semiconductors, that includes critical minerals, clean energy, and also AI.
AI, of course, and also green energy. That's something India wants to work with Japan on. That's particularly important because in about 5 to 10 years, there will be fewer cars on the road that are driven by either petrol or diesel. And for that to happen, India needs a lot of infrastructure. India needs a lot of technology. That's one. Apart from that, there are two areas where India and Japan can work together, and these are very prestigious areas. One is space. Now, the Japanese space mission and the Indian Chandrayaan mission can work together very easily, and that is something both countries are looking forward to. Let's not forget that the International Space Station has Japanese involvement as well. Besides that, both countries want to do a South Pole expedition together. That too is a very prestigious thing. Semiconductor apart and the bullet train apart, Japan wants to invest in India. And Japan wants to invest for very good reasons. They are not doing it because of any other reason, but they need to invest in India. First of all, the Japanese population growth has slowed down to virtually zero. Now, in 5 years, the population of Japan will actually come down. So, as a result, the Japanese need markets. Now, for Japanese industry, whether it's electronics, whether it's automobiles, whether it's anything else, you need a market. India can be a market. And Prime Minister Modi has made it very clear. Number one, you make in India. Number two, you make for the world. See, if that happens, it helps India enormously, because it means Indian employment levels will naturally go up.
So how
if
both
there is huge
need each other as far as when it comes to ties that have been going strong and are progressing further. For India, stronger ties with Japan in this sector means access to technology, supply chain resilience, and also multiple investment opportunities. In the meantime, we also take you through when it comes to India-Japan trade ties, where there was standing between April 2024 to January 2025. In this 1 year, how the ties have now strengthened. When we speak of the total trade, that amounts to $21 billion US, especially when we speak of Indian export to Japan, that has gone up to $5.1 billion US, and Indian import from Japan has also gone up to $15.9 billion US. Now, this has been as far as Prime Minister's second day to his visit to Japan is concerned. As far as his interaction with the business leaders and industry leaders is concerned, this is where Prime Minister Narendra Modi was sharing the bullet train ride with his Japanese counterpart, and thereafter they were headed to the Sendai city, where we are looking at as far as India and Japan working closely on economic security that includes semiconductors, that includes critical minerals, clean energy, also AI, and when it comes to the two nations needing each other for stronger ties when it comes to trade and also friendship with Japan. This sector means that there is going to be technology access, supply chain resilience, and also multiple opportunities to invest. This has been one of the biggest investment plans that Japan is now undertaking to take on India, as being one of the biggest markets that we speak of is that of India. Now, as far as when it comes to the Japanese governors and industry leaders is concerned, Prime Minister Narendra Modi was also having an interaction with them. Thereafter, Prime Minister taking this bullet train ride, you can see he seems to be keenly involved when it comes to the discussions that was taking place. This was a short ride to Sendai city, as also receiving a rousing welcome there. Where, of course, when it comes to the Prime Minister, he is quite popular with the Japanese people, and of course the Indian diaspora, Srinjoy. Wherever he goes, there is a good amount of people there awaiting as far as to catch his glimpse. And of course, when it comes to Prime Minister's popularity is also concerned, he also indulges with the people there on ground. Mr. Sajjanar is also connected with us. Quick word from you, Mr. Sajjanar. Good morning. Indo-Japan trade ties that we are now looking at, and how significant do you believe that this development would be when it comes to the businesses that we now have, as the Prime Minister is mainly focusing on strengthening Global South?
Yeah, no, I think that's a very important area, and in fact, trade, technology, investment partnership has been the cornerstone of India-Japan relations. So our trade till a few years ago has been about $23 odd billion. We have a significant trade deficit with Japan, but both the sides have agreed during the visit of the Prime Minister that there should be greater diversification. We had signed a comprehensive economic partnership agreement a few years ago, But of course, this also needs to be looked at. So both the sides are actively working on this. But I think what is also noteworthy is that during the current visit, the Japanese side has committed to invest about $68 billion from the private sector in investment in India. So I think that is going to provide a big impetus to economic growth in India, improve manufacturing, promote manufacturing, also in terms of creation of jobs. So I think there is a huge level of trust between the two countries. Both the prime ministers actually addressed captains of industry and leaders of business.
Yes.
Yesterday, in fact, immediately after Prime Minister's arrival in Tokyo. And then today, he's visiting the semiconductor plant. Prime Minister Modi has addressed, 16 leaders from the prefectures, from the provinces of Japan. And also, he's going to visit the Miyagi prefecture, also visiting some of the business enterprises. So I think there is good potential and good future for bilateral economic and trade partnership.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Mr. Sajanhar. Appreciate you joining us here on the broadcast. As far as the reading that is now going into this visit of the Prime Minister, as it would be concluding today, but the Prime Minister, who has through several updates shared when it comes to his multiple visits and also interactions that he has had with the business leaders over there. And the Prime Minister also mentioning the state prefecture cooperation that he is called as a vital pillar of India-Japan friendship, and also saying that this is also why a separate initiative on it was launched during the 15th annual India-Japan summit. So let's in the meantime also talk about when it comes to the bullet train ride that the Prime Minister undertook. The Prime Minister, shortly after concluding his very successful visit to Japan, would be now heading to China. Now, this is also a lot of importance and significance that is being attached to this visit, as this 4-day visit that has now been 2-day to Japan and 2-day to China, that is now being marked as the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, and this would mark the Prime Minister's first visit since the 2020 Galwan clashes, a crucial one as well, that also comes amid the ongoing tariff war with the United States. Now, acknowledging when it comes to the pressure that has been mounted on India, China has been also